let him spit all that bullshit like he all broke. Now y'all know he rolling dough. Take you out for the weekend. Put you.
The album 9 is a 9-year journey of my experiences, my losses, my loves. I've had 2 kids, I've gotten married. It's been an incredible journey. And what better way to express your emotion than through music? I've always loved songwriting. I've always poured my heart out into my music. And with 9, it's no different to my debut album, which is called My Body's Crying. I think what's important about this album is that I've grown a lot, I've experienced a lot, having come through a heavy depression with the loss of the record company in New York. I have a lot to say, and 9 is the first of many. I'm a bit of an eclectic soul. I love all sorts of music, from classical to R&B to pop to rock to even opera and just instrumental music. And I have so many favorites. I would not be able to give you one. My favorite song on the album 9 is Be Right Here. It's a ballad that I wrote with Andrew Baird, an incredible songwriter-producer, and that song was specifically written for my 2 boys. And it talks about me as a mom being there for them no matter what, through difficult times, through happy times, during failures, during successes. Mom will always be there rooting for them. My biggest inspiration would be experience. I try to take what I've experienced and what I'm going through and pour that into lyrics and melody. I find that my heart is an open book, and because I am a songwriter, it's easy for me to pour what I'm feeling onto a piece of paper and then translate that through music. So my biggest influence is what I'm experiencing every day. Starting with the best part of my career, I would say is the gratification of knowing that you get to express yourself doing what you do best. For me, that is music. I see music as a language. It's my first language. And it's really special when you can take what you feel and your experiences and pour that into something that other people can relate to. Music is a universal language. Everybody sings, everybody loves singing, everybody loves listening to music, whether you can sing or not. And for me, the best part of that would be to share what I'm feeling, and hopefully other people are experiencing that with me.
Absolutely.
I think that the worst thing about this industry, or about the music industry, is the facade of fame. I think that people see you and revere you as the superstar. They see you as someone who is special and someone who has things that others don't, and almost making you feel as if you are deserving of more. And I think that the facade about fame is that, you can either let it go to your head, where you start feeling that you are better than other people, or you can appreciate the fact that people see you in that light, without the egos and without the chip on the shoulder and without thinking that you are better than anyone else, because you aren't. We are singers, actors, people in arts. We are all people, and I think that we sometimes put too much emphasis on the fact that you're a celebrity. But in fact, we're just regular people. You know, we eat, we sleep, we have families, we want to have fun, we want to cry when we want to cry, we want to laugh when we want to laugh. So for me, what I think is the worst about this industry is just, you know, making people understand that we are not special. We are just like everybody else. I've always felt that music, being a universal language, speaks to the heart of man. I find that in South Africa, people are quite segregated with regards to music genre. We have a very strong Afrikaans market. We then have a very strong African house market, a very strong gospel, African gospel market. But unfortunately, there aren't many R&B, soul, pop singers in South Africa. I've been doing my genre for the last 10 years, and it's been extremely difficult to firstly convince people that I'm from here, secondly to get people to pay attention to me, purely because R&B pop is almost a dying genre in South Africa, or it's perceived to be that way. I feel that with enough courage and enough bravery and the willingness to do what you love, you know, R&B and pop singers should not be afraid to do what they love, instead of selling themselves short and, you know, trying to sound like someone else or sound like the market dictates. I feel that the music industry in South Africa, at the moment, hip-hop is a big thing. Like, everybody's rapping, everybody's trying to be cool with, you know, the big chains and the cars and the booty and the girls. And yes, hip-hop has its place, but so does pop, so does R&B, so does classical, so does Afrikaans. And if we were just brave enough, you know, and willing to just stand by our guns and do what we feel we love, I think that there would still be a market for R&B and pop music in South Africa. I think we limit ourselves, and with the fear of nobody buying your album, we tend to shy away and then try and change our genre to suit the market. But I think that, you know, with enough exposure and enough good music that gets produced out of this country and in South Africa, Johannesburg, Cape Town, you know, I think that if we just stick to our guns, we could make a statement to show that South Africa has the potential to have really good pop R&B music. The other issue that I see South Africans have is that we are constantly comparing our artists to international artists, instead of just appreciating that this artist is from South Africa, they are unique, they are special, they have their own sound, and celebrating that. Instead, we want to compare, and then, you know, once we've made up our minds that no, that artist is actually not good enough for me, you know, we completely run them down, insult them, social media goes crazy. And I think it's a little bit unfair to not give our South Africans the same opportunity that the Americans have when they come here. You know, we are all talented. We are all, you know, we're striving for the same goals. And it's very important that we wake up to the talent that we have here, because we are such a diverse country and there is so much talent out there. It's about time we start paying tribute to them and actually celebrating them. There's definitely something that's really close to my heart. I'm a child abuse survivor. I've survived sexual harassment and sexual abuse from a very young age. And I'm really, really passionate about children and the abuse that children have to experience, unfortunately by the hand sometimes of their own parents, of people who love them. And it's something that's really, really disturbing to me. Being a survivor myself, I think that, you know, what I would love to see is that kids are loved and cared for and not abused and not taken advantage of. Having two boys of my own, I'm extremely protective over them. And I find that as much as it's a good thing to be protective, I still have to trust them as well. And that is going to come with the morals and the values that we as parents instill into our kids. But most importantly, I would love to get behind a women against child abuse, or women against women and child abuse, or women against abuse. You know, it happens across sexes, it happens across ages, and that is something that I'm really passionate about.
You've got a husband.
I don't have many secrets, and I'm quite explicit on social media. I don't hide anything. I think what might be interesting to know is that I married the man of my dreams, Kurt Herman from Pop Stars, from 101. And a lot of people, they always ask, how did the two of you meet and how did this relationship develop? And we happened to meet at a recording studio, and we've literally been together since the day we met. It's the most uncanny, most unusual thing, but we just gelled, you know, from the offset. It was sparks flying, and then love, and then marriage, and now kids. So I think what might be interesting to know is that we've been together since day one. We work together. He's produced the entire album, and we just have such a great synergy. You know, his talent mixed with mine, and there's just a powerhouse there. I see them, and you know, I always try and include them in my career, and I try and involve them, whether it's a stage production or backing vocals or studio. You know, they are very well aware of what we do. They know very well that mom and dad sing, and they love music as well, especially the older one, Ariel. He has quite an ear, even at the age of 4. And I think that for us as a family, the most important thing for me to teach them is that it doesn't matter what happens in your life. It doesn't matter, you know, what career path you choose, what mistakes you make. As long as your family support unit is strong, you can overcome anything. And I think for me, that's the most important thing that I'm going to try and instill in them, and make them believe that no matter what, you are accepted and you are loved, and mom and dad are always here. You know, what actually spurred on the album 9 was that 9 years ago I decided to step out of the limelight and, you know, just continue in the music business, but just step out of the Tima Reece name and brand. I found that after having my 2 boys, I needed to give back something that they can look back on and go, wow, mom, you actually did it, you know. And I kept on saying to Kurt, like about a year ago, I said to him, I don't want my kids to grow up looking back at mom and going, but you never tried, so why should I, you know. And then that being their reason for not trying, and their reason at failing. And they can obviously turn around and go, oh yeah, but mom, you never tried, you didn't do anything, so you can't speak to me about it, you can't encourage me. And I think that scared me. I looked at them and I was like, I'm going to do this so that even if it fails, God forbid, they can look back and go, wow, she tried. And that would then give them the inspiration to try. Because there's no way that I can be a positive influence in their lives if I'm not showing positive results and doing something, you know, with my career. And it's, like I said, it's been a 9-year journey. It's been a 9-year roller coaster ride. But ultimately, I'm doing this for them. You know, it's so that I can one day retire and go, you know what, boys, mommy did this for you. Enjoy it. For some reason, having children firstly, it grounds you. You become more focused. You become full of nonsense, if I could put it that way. Like, I've become so strict, but not strict in a harsh way, just passionate and like, nobody's going to mess with my kids. Nobody's going to hurt them, you know? And I think it, like I said, it comes from being abused as a kid and having to go through all of that. I don't ever want them to go through that, ever. And if I can protect them from that, I will die for that cause.
The ceiling say Don't wanna know why he constantly trying to get hold of me. Should I give in? Should I keep letting him in? Should we be